In today's video, I'm going to teach you guys how to cook this New York strip steak and baked potato on the Breeo, live fire style. So we're very excited today. This is our first time live fire cooking over the Breeo. We're very excited to see how it's going to perform. The first thing we've got to do is build a nice hot fire. So we've got the Breeo loaded up with some oak wood, and we're going to let this burn down until we get some nice hot embers, and then we'll be ready to cook. All right, so one of the important things to understand when you're live fire cooking is you don't want to start cooking on a raging fire like we have here. You want to let this burn down until you have coals, and then add in small amounts of wood to keep the fire going as necessary. So with a fire like we have here, it's extremely hot. So my hand right here, even this far away, I can barely keep my hand over the fire. So you're going to burn whatever you're trying to cook. So we're going to let this burn down. Once we've got some coals, we'll be back and we'll show you what that looks like. So the fire's starting to burn down to the coals we want, so we're going to go ahead and prep our baked potatoes. So full disclosure, this is the first time I've ever attempted to cook baked potatoes on an open fire, so we're going to be learning right along with you on this one. So we're going to go over them with some olive oil, some kosher salt, then we're going to double wrap them in heavy-duty aluminum foil. All right, so this is what we're starting to look for in the fire. We're starting to get some nice coals, a nice coal bed going. I'm going to spread these out just a little bit. I'm going to put on another fresh log to let that start going to keep our fire fed. And then we're going to add our baked potatoes. So this is where some heat-resistant gloves come in handy. We're going to put these on before we add the baked potatoes. All right, so this looks good. We're going to nestle these right down in some of these hot coals, just on the outer edge of the fire pit. Try not to get too close to that open fire. All right, so we're not able to bury these in the coals, so we don't really have enough coals to go over the top of the baked potatoes. So we're going to leave those in. I think this should take about an hour. We're going to come back probably every 15 minutes or so and rotate these baked potatoes around just to make sure that they cook evenly. So I can't tell you how excited we are to finally be cooking on the Breeo. We've had this fire pit now for probably almost about 2 weeks. We got to sit around the fire one night, but that's about it because it's been raining here in central Mississippi every single day for about the past month. Right around 5 o'clock, those isolated scattered thunderstorms all come right over my house, and that happens to be when I get home from work, and it ruins our videos every night. So it's probably going to get a little bit dark on you tonight, but that's fine. We'll make do. We'll turn on some outside lights and we'll just keep going because we're going to take advantage of this clear weather because no telling what it's going to do tomorrow. All right, so we're our first 15 minutes in. We're going to go ahead and rotate these baked potatoes a little bit. Make sure they cook even. Then we're going to get our Outpost grill set up and ready for the steaks. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to my wife for this really cool camp table here that we're using in our videos. So she actually got this for us to use with our new camper that we got. We needed a table for this cooking video, pulled it out, worked great. So I was actually just reminded I got 2 camp tables, so double thank you to my wife for these camp tables. All right, so we're 30 minutes in, we're gonna go ahead and prep our steaks. All right, so we're working with some New York strip cut steaks from our local Sam's. They're about 1.25 inches to about maybe 1.5 inches, somewhere in between there, thick. And first thing we gotta do is pat these things dry. All right, so now we're gonna go on with a little bit of olive oil. So we've got some Red 55 Winery Texas garlic and herb olive oil. So my wife picked this up in Texas from Miranda Lambert's store. In where? Lindale, Texas.
I think Fistal Annie.
All right, just a little bit of olive oil. It's gonna add some extra flavor and also hopefully prevent these from sticking to the grill grate since it's brand new. All right, and we're gonna go on with a little bit of black pepper, 16 mesh black pepper. Nice healthy dose of black pepper. All right, let me get some fresh sea salt. All right, then we can't forget about the other side. All right, so we got the grate down pretty low. We're gonna go ahead and try to get a nice crust on these steaks to begin with. Let's see how we're gonna do. All right, so we already flipped these once. I don't know how easy it's gonna be for you guys to tell, but these two steaks on the end here, starting to get a nice crust on this side. They're getting a little bit more of that nice flame kiss. These other two steaks, not so much quite yet, so we're gonna have to rotate them a little bit, but we're gonna keep an eye on these, try to get a nice medium. I'm gonna use my thermopen to try to make sure that we get that temperature just right. I wanna pull them when they're probably about 125 degrees, so we'll see how close we are. I don't think it's gonna be long at all. All right, so I think the fire got away from me just a little bit, so I went ahead and lifted the grate up. These two steaks got a little bit more well done, so they're temping around 135, 140 degrees, which is fine. Those were the little bit thinner steaks. My daughters like theirs a little bit more well done than my wife and I. So these two steaks here are still temping around, say, the 110, 113-ish mark. So we're gonna keep rotating these and try to get these pulled off at about that 125 degree mark. All right, so these are the two steaks we've got left. We took the others off of the grill. Probably gonna go ahead and lower this grill grate back down a little bit. Keep a close eye on these just to let them try to develop a little bit more of a crust. That's one of the things I really like about the Breeo, or really like about the Outpost grill. If you're getting too hot, you can always flip the grate to the side. You can adjust it up and down to make sure that you're not burning anything. So I'll get these back down and we'll see how we do. All right, so before I let the grate back down, actually I wanted to go ahead and check my baked potatoes, and those are looking pretty good. They're fairly soft. I think I'm gonna go ahead and take those off and let those rest inside. Ooh, that's hot. Our first fire roasted baked potatoes. All right, so we got our grate lowered back down. These two steaks aren't gonna take much longer at all. I did just want to try to get a little more crust developed on them. These are gonna be fantastic. All right, so I've got this one right at 126 degrees on the money. That one's ready to pull off. That one's got just a little bit further to go. Oh yeah. That one's a little more done on that side. Okay, all right, so our last one, we're temping probably around 130 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and pull this one off as well. So this is one of the beauties of live fire cooking. Not everything cooked evenly, not everything came off at the same time, but it was fun. We had a great time out here tonight, and you just gotta be able to adapt, and most of all, enjoy yourself while you're cooking. So we'll take these steaks in and we'll see you inside. All right, so while the steaks are resting, we're gonna go ahead and check out these baked potatoes. I'm really excited about these. It's the first time we've ever cooked baked potatoes this way. So we're gonna unwrap it and let's see how we did. This thing is still really hot. Oh, I hope these came out good. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Well, it doesn't look burnt. That's for sure. Oh yeah, that's super soft. All right, try not to burn myself here. Oh yeah. Looks awesome. Fluffy. Let me get a fork. See the steam coming off of it? Yeah, just look how fluffy that is. That looks fantastic. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and dress this thing up a little bit. Let's go ahead in with some butter. Plenty of butter. I like a lot of butter on my baked potato. All right, what's next? Freshly grated cheddar cheese. Oh yeah, it's gonna melt great. All right. Some ranch dressing, because why not? Then you gotta go in with a little bit of sour cream. Yeah. So my wife's upset we ran out of bacon bits. If you've got some at home, throw them in, it'll only make it better. Let's give this a good mix. Oh yeah. All right, we're gonna give this thing a taste test. It's gonna be nuclear hot, but I don't care. I'm not exaggerating when I say that's probably one of the best baked potatoes I've ever had. So wood fire baked potatoes on the Breeo, give it a try. Those are amazing. Really didn't know how that was going to come out. I was a little nervous at first. I thought maybe we were going to burn them, overcook them, but they came out great. They cooked probably a little bit over an hour. What, Christy, maybe hour and 15 minutes, something like that. So just make sure you keep an eye on them, keep rotating them. Try to feel them, see once they're getting soft and pull them. But these came out fantastic. All right, so very important to let your steak rest. So we let these rest for probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10 minutes while we were fixing our baked potatoes. So we're ready to cut into it now. I can't wait any longer. And let's see how we did. All right, so I think not too bad. So just a nice hint of brown on the outside of the steak. Nice medium in the middle. Let's cut off a slice and see how we did. So really good steak. Smoke fire flavor from the Breeo really comes through. We seasoned it very simply with just some salt and pepper, a little bit of olive oil, so the steak flavor really comes through. Really like this steak. What I would have done differently next time, we got a little bit of a crust developed on it. I didn't get quite as much crust as I would have liked. So maybe let that fire build up, burn a little bit hotter at first, sear the steaks off at first, and then raise it up a little bit higher. Let them finish cooking that way. But we'll play around with it and see how we want to do it different next time. I'd really like to try a thicker steak, something like a tomahawk on there. Something that can take a little more heat to begin with, a nice sear on it, and get that nice medium rare on the inside. So We may try something like that next. We'll see. So that's it for today's video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let us know what you'd like to see us cook next time on the Breeo. Catch you in the next video.